about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
This program is for mature audiences only.
Please have your fake ID ready.
Get out of bed, you lazy.
All right, I'm gonna be honest. We don't have time for this. I remember how long this intro runs. Please turn this off. With all due respect to David of Carmichael, just cut that off.
There's still 2 minutes and 15 seconds left.
Yeah, dude, no, absolutely not.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
There's like there's 47 different transitions to that intro. Instead, we'll start with a record off the new Future album. Did you listen to the new Future album yet? Come on, Jason. Welcome in to The Drive. Carmichael Dave is off for the next week or so. I'm Damien Barling, along with the best there is, the best there was, and the absolute best that there ever will be, Jason Herbert Walker Ross. Of course, you just heard the sultry sounds of one Kyle Madsen. Cody Baylor will join us later on in the day, as will Mike Triplett. Mike Triplett covers the New Orleans Saints for ESPN NFL Nation. He'll be with us at 8 o'clock. Also coming up at 8:40, we will have your opportunity to qualify for the Big Game Dream Party presented by Mel Rapton Honda. We'll give you the details on all of that stuff as we roll along. We've got tickets to professional bull riding because nothing says professional bull riding like Damien Barling and Jason Ross. All right, so you can listen to the show, KHTK app, KHTK.com, of course, Sports 1140 AM. And if you want to have some fun, you can check out our live stream.
Oh, that's right.
The video. And there it went. At exactly 6:03, I lost Jason for the rest.
3 minutes.
I've lost Jason for the rest of the morning.
I'd forgotten about that.
The live stream is up and running over at KHTK.com. Again, thank you so much for being with us. We will start. We got championship weekend going on. We've got the Saints and the Rams. We've got the Chiefs and the Patriots. We'll obviously talk a lot about that as the day progresses. DeMarcus Cousins will return from his Achilles injury tonight and make his debut with the Golden State Warriors. But we will start with your Sacramento Kings. Their 3-game win streak was snapped last night in Charlotte after a fantastic start to the game, a solid first quarter. Everything went to hell the second quarter started.
Yeah, and I don't know what Charlotte does to this team, to the Kings specifically, but it didn't look like the fun, the pace, the energy, the ball movement. They had a good amount of assists, but fast break points that Charlotte did it here. The Kings won that game. Same thing there. They just never had a good offensive flow all game long.
No, they didn't, and it was. Well, they did when they were up, what was it, 15-3?
15-3 start.
It was a good flow there.
Yeah.
Even because those things don't last. Everybody knows that. There's
Right.
going to be a run. Getting it to 25-20, I think, was the score at the end of the first quarter. But then, was it 43?
Yeah,
43 points in the second quarter? Come on, man. What are we doing here?
Yeah, and I think,
That's not a pace problem in terms of fast break
No.
points and all that. That has nothing to do with the offense that has gotten them so much attention this year.
Yeah, no, that was defensive issues. Turnovers started to come up in the second quarter. Obviously, Charlotte started to make some shots. But I felt like there were so many times after that where the Kings still could have gotten back in the game. I remember that Charlotte was stuck at, I think it was 76 points for about 4 minutes. And the Kings scored 5 points. They were scoreless. 5-0 run, that's all they did. I mean, Kings could score 18 in that amount of time. Never caught him. The window was open, and you're just waiting for it. Where's the surge happen? Here it comes. This is the group. Now, this group, somebody's going to hit a bunch of threes. Just never happened.
Yeah, even late in the game, it felt like with 4 minutes left, I think they had cut it to 12, and they got a stop, and they came down the other way. They miss.
Yeah.
They get a stop again. They come down, turnover. They had so many chances even late in the game to
They
try and
never
make a push,
established
and they
any
never did.
momentum.
No.
They never got that ball rolling again like they did to start the game. And really, I thought overall they played fine in the first quarter. They played really, really well in the first couple of minutes. But they never got the ball rolling again, so to speak, like they did in those first few minutes of the game. There are some positives to take away, or at least a positive, and that's Buddy Hield, who had 24 points last night, 6 of 11 from three-point range. That is his 5th game this season with 6+ threes, which is tied for the 4th most in the National Basketball Association. Also of note, Charlotte, that was their first set of back-to-back wins since December 19th and 21st.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's been a while since they've been able to string a couple of wins together.
Buddy Hield is very quietly on pace to have a top 5 3-point shooting ever in terms of total makes.
Yeah, he's a gifted shooter. I mean, I think people thought, well, what could his role be? He's as good as a shooter as there is in the league. Now, there might be a few better, but he's in that class. And consistently, that's how he gets to 20, because it's not the free throw line for him or the team. They don't get there anymore.
No, they don't.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
And then when they do, they don't make them, and that was a huge difference to me in the game. 29 attempts for Charlotte. They made 25. Kings got there 13 times, only made 6. That was awful.
That's terrible. They shot 56% from the foul line, and they don't get there. Like, they've had – I mean, we should go back and count how many games they've had 20-plus, because 20 even at this point isn't enough.
Right.
James Harden shot 21 by himself. James Harden shot 27 by himself.
Yes.
And I know you just rolled your eyes at that, but the fact is, I know it drives me nuts too.
Yeah.
But it's one player.
Right.
One player can get to the foul line 27 times, and a team can get there 13.
Right.
Come on.
And to me, De'Aaron Fox goes to the basket enough to get at least a few more calls.
And he doesn't.
Yeah.
He does not get the call. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. He does not get the call.
Does it look to you like sometimes De'Aaron Fox and some of the other Kings, but mainly De'Aaron Fox, goes in looking for contact, and he hasn't earned that kind of James Harden right yet where
Well, you just flail your head and you get a foul?
exactly.
Like
I don't-
James Harden's
like
a bad example because James Harden's so extreme.
I don't feel like De'Aaron's looking for contact. Maybe it's in the back of his. I don't think he's driving to the basket believing he's either getting a layup or he's going to the foul line. I think he's just trying to get to the basket. I don't know that he goes there expecting to get fouled. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's wrong. Maybe that's why he doesn't get
to draw contact.
Yeah, maybe that's why he doesn't get the calls. I think he's just. I think going back to was it Portland the other night? He penetrated to the basket late in the game, missed the layup, didn't get the call.
Right.
I think he's just trying to get past people and get to the basket.
Yeah.
I don't think he's looking. James Harden, I believe, drives to the basket with the idea of I'm going to the foul line.
Right.
I'm not trying to get a layup here or a dunk. I want to go to the foul line and shoot my free throws.
Yeah, if I score, there's the and one. But if not, they give me the 2 free throws. That's what his philosophy is. And then the other part, too, besides the free throws, like I said, was the fast break points. Kings average, I think it's 22, 23 a game. Mm-hmm. Charlotte held them to 7.
Ooh.
And I don't even remember the 7. Like I don't remember runouts. And early on when Charlotte was missing all those shots, that's when they should be going and using that pace. They did something in the 2 games they've played. Charlotte held them to 4 fast break points and 7. So something they did specifically. And I still believe there's something about playing the Kings a second time or seeing them another time.
I agree.
That people all look better against Sacramento the second time.
Which is a problem because they're playing Detroit in a couple of days, who, much like, and this was, if you were with us yesterday for the regularly scheduled portion of the Lowdown, we talked to Jerry Reynolds at 2 o'clock. And one of the questions we asked Jerry was, as a coach, you've been in these situations where you've had to play a team that you just beat, shortly after you just beat them. In the case of Charlotte, we're talking a matter of just a couple of days here. And how do you prepare for that if you're the team that won? And I think the question that we asked him yesterday is more specifically, if you're the coach for Charlotte, how are you going to prepare for that? And Jerry even acknowledged as a coach, when you lost that game, especially just a couple of days ago, you have a lot more that you're going to get out of that film than the team that won.
Right.
And again, if you noted, it's a trend, which means it's going to be a big problem for the Kings when they take on Detroit, this time in downtown Detroit instead of at the Golden One Center.
Yep, no doubt. And, it's only one game of the road trip, but game 1, I feel like, is that not necessarily a tone setter, but it's great to get the first one if you can, and you're already ahead of the trip. Now you're only down 0-1 on the trip, but it just feels like it puts more pressure as the trip goes on if you continue to mount up some losses. But that's what we've always said about this team. They've done a good job of not having too many long losing streaks or bouncing back after a poor performance. Because that's what I thought yesterday was. I think if they play well, they beat Charlotte. They didn't play well. Charlotte deserved to beat them.
114-95 was the final score last night. The Sacramento Kings go to 23-22. The Charlotte Hornets 21-23. So we may think that the Charlotte Hornets are a bad basketball team. We may think the Detroit Pistons are a bad basketball team. The fact of the matter is there's only a couple of games separation between these teams that they're playing here on this trip. They got Toronto mixed somewhere in here. Toronto had an interesting win last night against the lowly Phoenix Suns. I think it was a buzzer beater there at the end. But Toronto got that win. There's a lot of NBA stuff to talk about. Obviously, we'll get back to the Kings as the day rolls along here. Again, if you're unfamiliar with the show that we do at noon, I've been campaigning for Nemanja Bjelica to be out of the starting lineup for quite a while and Marvin Bagley to be in. If you want to jump on this train, now's a good time to do it. You want in?
I'm honestly indifferent on it. If they do
Really?
it, yeah, I don't think they're not even playing Bjelica that much.
Well, they played him. They played him 19 minutes last night.
Yeah,
It's more about who finishes the game, right?
Why is he starting? I don't get it.
Because he's been starting, because he spaces the floor a little bit.
Yeah.
That's not good enough. Okay, he spaced the floor to the tune of what? Like
But
what? Like, is he a decoy?
When were they best in the game?
Right, so that's just it. In his last 16 games, he's shooting less than 30% from three.
Shut up, Jason. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
They were best at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But did he contribute to that?
+3, ±, my favorite stat I don't like to use.
Now you
want
to use it.
Yeah, it's actually valuable at the moment.
Dude, this guy right here, I swear, Jason hates the ± stat. Dummy. Hates it, except when it works in his favor.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
+3.
Only plus player on the whole team?
Yep. Marvin Bagley, -21.
But seriously, when it
Clearly the worst.
When it comes to floor spacing, Marvin Bagley can't take 3 threes a game and make one of them.
I feel like
That's what Bjelica's doing right now.
Yeah.
But Marvin Bagley can't do that while adding better rebounding, more energy.
You know who would probably be happy to do that is Harry Giles.
For sure.
Harry Giles would be very happy to space the floor and stand at that three-point line and jack a couple up. And he might be very effective. I've watched him shoot threes at the end of his warm-up there.
Just got to stop fouling.
Him and Costa Koufos warm up together. Yeah. As their warm-up ends, Giles goes to the three-point line, and Koufos stays put.
Yeah, I'll rebound for you.
Costa very much stays in the key, working on the Costa hook, while Harry Giles is out getting some three-pointers up.
It's a magical shot. No one else can quite do it like Costa.
Well, I don't think anyone's going to argue that. No one is going to argue that. 23 and 5 for Kemba Walker. He's averaging 29 points per game over the last 3 games. I'm a big Kemba Walker fan. I just hated the way that was an ugly game. That wasn't fun for anybody to watch. Do you know how many laps like a youth basketball team would run if they were 6 of 13 from the foul line?
Oh my goodness!
I
They'd
know
still be
laps.
running.
I know laps is an antiquated way to put. Like, I don't know how that improves your free throw shooting. But if you went the old school, hard-nosed, coached way, dude, you're right. They'd still be running right now off 6 of 13 shooting.
Yes.
It's time to plan your football playoff party treats. Start at your local Sprouts Farmers Market and Sprouts.com. You want to be a part of the show? You can. You can get us on the Jiffy Lube text line here at 441140. We'll even open up the phone lines for you nice and early here. The Fire Wings hotline. Try one of their delicious 21 flavors of wings today. Fire Wings, just wing it, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We'll step out. We'll come back. DeMarcus Cousins.
Who?
Yeah, DMC. You know who DeMarcus Cousins is.
He used to play for the Kings.
Yeah.
He is making his return to the basketball floor tonight. He's going to make his debut for the Golden State Warriors. We'll talk about that next.
Jason and Damien, back to you.
Thanks, Cody. Appreciate it. It's time to plan your football playoff party treats. Start at your local Sprouts Farmers Market and Sprouts.com. Mike Triplett, ESPN, NFL Nation, covers the New Orleans Saints. He's going to be with us at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. We've got conference championship games to talk about. We'll get back to your Sacramento Kings as the day rolls along here. We'll get into some other NBA action as well. DeMarcus Cousins makes his return to the professional basketball floor 357 days after rupturing his Achilles last season against the Houston Rockets. He will make his debut for the Golden State Warriors. DeMarcus Cousins is the first player in NBA history to average 25 points per game and 10 rebounds per game and join the defending champions in the offseason.
The most hated team in sports, according to him.
According to DeMarcus Cousins, it is. According to the Lowdown Facebook page and the Sports 1140 KHTK Facebook page, not so much.
Nah.
It was overwhelmingly teams like the Cowboys and the Patriots and
heritage teams for years.
Yeah, there was a good one that we actually didn't reference on our show, Duke.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even think about Duke yesterday.
The nerve of them for winning all those times.
Well, that's the same thing with the Patriots, right? Though I think the Patriots is a fine balance of winning and perceived, real or otherwise, cheating. Kyle?
I think when it comes to the Warriors, I think it's more Kevin Durant that the hate is directed to. I don't think most people have a problem with the Warriors. Draymond maybe a little bit for sure, but like you said, the Warriors have been on top for what, 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's nothing compared to the Cowboys and how long they were around, and the Patriots and how long they've been around. I'm amazed the Spurs don't get it more.
Yeah, I don't know where you target.
Yeah,
the
you
venom.
brought that up yesterday. It's like, I think we were more. You used the word bored. We were just like, ugh, the Spurs again. Like, come on. The Warriors are fun to watch. Like, they're exciting. I never felt like the Spurs were exciting.
Well, and it was kind of spread out, right? San Antonio's been good for 20 years, but there wasn't a title every year. I mean, they have, 4 in there, and it was kind of spread throughout several years.
Mm-hmm.
Where, the Warriors have done a bunch here lately. The Patriots are in that realm a little bit too, but I think people are completely
But it's
tired
been a
of them.
really long time for them. And then all of it's like they win a Super Bowl and a scandal comes out.
Yeah.
Whether it's Spygate or it's Deflategate or whatever other stupid gate.
Yeah.
We were talking about things that should be retired. Should Gate be retired?
Yes.
Okay. For sure. Because that's one that can go.
Right. What if there's something that involved a gate?
How many people do you think
Gate?
like Watergate, like the actual Watergate?
Well, I just didn't know if there was some sort of.
How many people do you think use terms like Spygate and Deflategate but don't know what Watergate is?
Oh, most of them.
Pretty much everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Kyle, do you know what Watergate is?
Yeah, it's the hotel that the Democratic National Committee was in. That the
Okay,
Nixon
you didn't have.
administration
You could have just
broke
said.
into.
I would have believed you.
Okay.
I
I know. I always thought Gate was supposed to be used for like scandals and things like that. But I feel like people throw it on everything now. Like someone's like, "Oh man, I can't find my pen," and someone's like, "Oh, there's the pen gate." Like, no, it's just someone lost their pen.
Well, or someone stole it.
Yeah.
If you lost it, it's not a gate. If someone stole it, it's a gate. Because no one ever loses their pen. No one ever says, "Oh man, I lost my pen." They say, "Who stole my pen?"
Great point.
That's
a
why
really
it's a
good
gate.
point. Okay, that's fair. So you don't want to get rid of Gate. You just want to make sure the application.
No,
is
I
correct.
want gate gone. I don't want gate anymore.
Gone Gate.
Gone Gate.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what I want. Gone Gate. It's a sequel to Gone Girl. Has a much better ending though.
It's
Much
movie.
better. Terrible ending.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Terrible ending?
Terrible.
just Ben Affleck trying to close a gate where the thing won't line up. He's got to lift it a little bit and shake it.
That's a little too close to home, buddy.
Dude.
You know when the string that opens your gate from the outside breaks off?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's
You have string gate?
I got string gate, indeed. I got all sorts of gate issues at my house.
It's like how you
do I
walk.
segue back to DeMarcus after
Boogie
that?
gate.
Boogie gate. There
Boogie
it is.
doesn't have gait issues because he's ready to play basketball. Like his gait, like his walk after his Achilles injury. I'm sorry.
With Cousins joining Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, the Warriors are the first team in NBA history to have 3 players who averaged 25 points per game the year before. DeMarcus Cousins, when you think about basketball players returning from an Achilles injury, obviously Kobe Bryant comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Elton Brand is another guy that comes to mind. Kobe Bryant, let's look at a couple of numbers here, and I know this is what a lot of people have been asking about, talking about. Kobe Bryant, of course, it's 2012-13 season, so you could argue he was right there, headed over that little prime spot. 27.3 points per game on 46% shooting the year he was injured. When he came back, 37% shooting, averaging 18.9 points per game. So a pretty big fall off for the Mamba there. Elton Brand, he ruptured his Achilles in the 2007 offseason. He went from averaging 20 and 10 to 13 and 7. Isaiah Thomas, I think that ended his career. It did. Dominique Wilkins is the one a lot of people point to, who came back and was still just fantastic after his Achilles injury. DeMarcus is a lot younger than Kobe Bryant was when he ruptured his Achilles, so I'm expecting DeMarcus Cousins, to be honest with you. I'm expecting the DeMarcus Cousins that we saw in New Orleans, the DeMarcus Cousins that we saw in Sacramento. In terms of his ability, I don't know how it's going to fit into this system or not, and we'll talk more about that here in just a couple of minutes. Again, 44-11-40 here on the text line. The 76ers beat the Pacers last night. I don't think we're talking enough about either of those teams And it turns out a British runner is actually a hitman, and his watch told on him. We'll explain next.
Hey, this is Kyle Madsen with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Sacramento Kings had a disappointing start to their 6-game road trip. They lost 114-95 to the Hornets in Charlotte after jumping out to a 13-point lead early in the second quarter. Buddy Hield did lead all scorers with 24 points. He went 6 of 11 from beyond the arc. The Kings are off tonight as they travel to Detroit to take on the Pistons tomorrow. Elsewhere in the NBA yesterday, the Wizards overcame a 12-point fourth-quarter deficit to top the Knicks 101-100 in London. The 76ers won their third in a row, 120-96 over the Indiana Pacers. The Suns gave the Raptors all they could handle in Toronto, but Pascal Siakam's layup at the buzzer gave the Raptors a 111-109 win. The Nuggets were all over the Bulls, 135-105, and the Thunder came back to force overtime against the Lakers, but Kyle Kuzma and Lonzo Ball took over in overtime to lead LA to a 138-128 victory. It's 6:32 time now for the International Sportsman's Expo, Thursday through Sunday at Cal Expo. Get tickets at sportsexpos.com.
Can we also retire all they can handle? Like, how do you know? How do you know that's all they can handle? Maybe they get a second win.
Well, if they lost, could they handle it?
Yeah, but they didn't. They won.
Yeah, no, but that's just it. Is that was all they could handle. If they had,
But you don't know that.
If they had put one more lime on top of it, they would have.
You don't
but
know
you
that.
do, but you do because you had to
guessing.
make a layup at the buzzer.
You're irresponsibly guessing.
I'm educatedly guessing.
What's with the lime?
Have you never seen the "Why Can't I Hold All These Limes" picture?
I can't even think of how many times I have. No, I've never heard of that.
Okay.
It's a deep cut reference.
Someone's loving that.
Someone somewhere is like, that's a great reference.
I would like
not
to meet.
me.
I would like to meet that person.
Yeah.
Hi.
Great.
Narrow
It's one of Kyle's friends.
Yeah,
That's
it's
watching
Kyle.
the stream. It's Kyle.
Yeah.
Yes, Kyle's the one texting the show repeatedly right now. I saw this story about a British runner. He's runner, cyclist. Apparently, he's also a mob hitman. He was charged with 2 murders, and they were able to place him at the site of the murder because for some reason, when he went out to do the job, he was wearing his Garmin GPS watch. That's when running is life.
Yeah.
When you're like, you know what? I've got 2 people to kill today,
Yep.
but I've got to get these 8 miles in.
Sure.
So,
Got to mark my trail.
boom.
And that for a while was a great alibi. Like, I was running. When you were really running from the scene of the crime, you were like, no, I was just running by.
Sir,
Great.
we can place you at the scene of the crime. You had a hell of a mile pace after you murdered them, but we can place you there. Like, your watch tells us exactly. You are literally standing over 2 dead bodies. Like, your watch is telling us this.
And we're a little concerned that your heart rate didn't go up.
That's how they knew he was a hitman, by the way.
Congratulations on getting your steps in, though.
Yes.
Well done. Well done. God, I only thought America had stupid criminals. This guy's a mob hitman, which means, like, he's paid
Yeah.
by the mob.
But he's fit.
Well, again, running his life.
Yeah.
Fit man.
And death, apparently.
Yes.
My goodness, man. Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Just go. Just.
You're doing better today, by the
Am
way.
I?
You've only turned to the camera about Is it because it's still 6 a.m.?
And it's still dark.
That's right. I
The
apologize.
nerves.
Jason's a little uncomfortable with morning darkness. He's not
I
like
left
this.
here last night in the dark.
Yep.
And I drove here in the dark. It didn't add up.
Yep.
Was there any sunlight in between?
There was not, Jason.
Huh.
The sun did not come out while you were sleeping.
Where is it?
It'll be here in a little bit,
Behind
buddy.
that lime?
It's behind all the limes that Kyle
Gotcha.
was just referring to. Jason still has
Sungate.
his perfect.
The jacket. Why does the jacket get made fun of?
It's not getting made fun of. I think it's just it looks like a big puffy jacket,
It's
and
really
you're
not
wearing
that
it
puffy.
inside.
It's
I think it's your
comfortable.
gimmick now because
Yeah.
my gimmick is the scarf. Like, I had to wear a scarf today
looks good.
based on our last episode.
Yeah.
So I had to wear it. Now I have to wear a scarf every day.
Can you do that next week? You have enough scarves?
Oh, it's Jason.
Okay. Shame on-
Jason.
Do I have enough scarves?
Well,
Jason,
I have
come
one
on.
puffy coat.
Well, you can wear the puffy coat every
It's a
day.
bit much.
Puffy coat and the scarf is a really good, like, stereotypical morning show name, so you guys are nailing that. It's Puffy Jacket and the Scarf
There it is.
on
In the
Sports
morning.
1140.
I wore a good pair of shoes too. I don't know.
yeah.
How to,
Oh, what's your shoe game look like today?
I got Jordan 11.
Malanta.
So these are the Jordan 11 Platinum tints.
Yeah, I know.
So this does away with really what is the most famous element of the Jordan 11, which is the shiny patent leather part around
Right,
the bottom.
yeah.
And it just has a nice little soft
That's just dynamite.
platinum tint shell.
Yeah, really good.
White laces, red trim.
I believe the Jordan 11 was the cleat that Jimmy Garoppolo went with in the opener this year against the Vikings.
Very nice. Very nice. Jason Ross went with the classic black Nikes.
Yeah, very sensible.
I believe those are the Air Monarch 20s.
Those look more like the Air Monarch 2s. Jason's
The
still
Air
that's
Monarch
a retro.
BC.
Jason,
Air Monarch BC.
Jason's got the retro Nikes on. So we'll try to keep our shoe game tight, our scarf game tight, and our puffy coat tight. We're going to have to get Jason 4 more puffy jackets.
Hey, Damien, don't have that scarf too tight. Need to be able to talk.
Oh, I'm good. It's loose.
No,
Yeah.
no, I know. That's
I
a
had
good
it-
look. It's a dynamite look, man.
It's too, this is a large one to wrap. So you just got to
Oh, yeah,
kind of
yeah.
let it
There you go.
let it sit. It would wrap really well if I had a big jacket on.
Right, like a puffy jacket.
Like a puffy jacket.
But are you the perfect temperature right now?
I'm pretty comfortable in
Yeah,
here.
me too.
I'm pretty comfortable. Well, as long as you're comfortable, you should keep the puffy jacket
I'm
on.
going to.
The puffy jacket is getting a lot of love through the text line and through social media. If you want to watch the program, you can head over to khdk.com. Dave obviously off today. He'll be off for the next week. So Jason and I will be with you today all the way through next Friday. The Los Angeles Lakers starting to play a little bit better. They won 4 of their last 6 without LeBron James. They beat the Oklahoma City Thunder last night, 138-128. We'll get to all of that. One of the first texts we've got this morning was, Damien, we need to talk about the Westbrook in the room. There is a problem there in Oklahoma City. We can deal with all that, but I have a couple of questions first. Actually, I have one statement and then a question that we'll get to, and I think the second one is worth talking about here. Kyle?
I was giving you an indicator.
A
A time indicator.
You telling me 2 minutes?
Yes.
2 minutes.
Dos minutos. Why the hell did Lonzo Ball foul Russell Westbrook at the end of regulation? What the hell was he thinking? You literally fouled the worst three-point shooter in the league in that moment. And I was an advocate for Lonzo Ball. I'm convinced I'm an idiot. That was so stupid.
The timing was bad. I'm guessing they were told, like, hey, if it gets down to this time,
Dude,
foul him on purpose.
He wasn't even
And it was-
close to getting that. He was way too close to the three-point line to foul there.
Yeah.
I agree.
I
Yeah.
agree that you're right. They were trying to foul on the ground.
Right.
But, dude, you've got to foul him way
You
before
got to
that.
execute it.
See, but I'm guessing they said, hey, don't do this like too early because you don't want to have more time on the clock for him. But if it gets down to X time, foul him on the floor.
So at what point do you go, okay, our window, we're at the point where we're supposed to foul.
Uh-huh.
Except he's right at the three-point line, which means he could pull up any second.
Yeah, too late.
Yeah.
He's got
that's
to
a
recognize
mistake
it's
for
way
sure.
too late.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Shoot, let him shoot it.
Odds are good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. His three-point percentage entering last night's game, now granted, he hit 5. That was a season high for Russell Westbrook. But keep in mind, it was like 5 of 12. His shooting percentage entering that game from three-point was 22.8. It is the worst in the league for players that have shot over 100 three-point attempps. Literally, Russell Westbrook is the worst three-point shooter in the league, and you
Let
fouled
do
him.
it. Yeah.
Did you know a player hasn't gone for 7 of 30 or worse since 2002?
Did you know no one asked you?
I did know that.
We'll talk more about that
It's
because I
accurate.
have another question surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers, and it involves LeBron James. We'll continue that. A couple of other basketball games worth touching on. We'll get into the conference championships as well. We're just getting rolling here. It's Damien and Jason in here on The Drive. Damien Barling and Jason Ross with Kyle Madsen back in here on The Drive. Dave will be back with us. I don't know the exact date. We'll be here for the next week or so. We've got tickets to professional bull riding. We'll give those to you at the top of the 7 o'clock hour. Hang out for those. We've got your next opportunity to qualify for the Big Game Dream Party presented by Mel Rapton Honda. Coming up at 8:40. That'll be your first keyword of the day. Kyle, you brought up Michael Beasley entering the game last night, attempting to enter the game in his practice shorts. Is that clip only funny because it's Michael Beasley?
Yeah, I think there's a handful of players that's funny.
Yeah.
And Michael Beasley, and I think 4 of those players are on the Lakers. And Michael
JaVale
Beasley,
McGee's-
JaVale
yeah,
McGee's in there. Lance Stevenson, that looks like that's
Believable.
a Lance move for sure. But yeah, Michael Beasley is one of, I think, if you gave me 3 guesses to guess what player did that, I think Beasley would have been on the list.
I'd start with J.R. Smith.
Oh, there you go.
JR
That's a
for
good
sure.
one.
Yeah.
But he already doesn't have a shirt on.
How is JR not? Well, then it would be really problematic if he didn't have the right shorts on either. No shirt, wrong shorts.
shorts.
He would
No
have
service.
he'd have a really tough time entering that game.
Yes.
What do you think the over/under on Michael Beasley was high last night before the game? Jokes there were on Twitter when that clip
On Twitter?
circulated. Oh yeah,
All of them.
Yeah.
they were all Michael Beasley is high jokes.
Over or under is all of the tweets.
Yo,
Couldn't hold
So you're
all
taking
of
the
the
over.
tweets.
Yeah, I'm taking the over, yeah.
But again, I feel like it's funny because it's Michael Beasley. Like if Marvin Bagley forgot to put it gets run, but it's not as funny. Michael Beasley,
rookie mistake.
right? Michael Beasley forgets to put his shorts on, and it's comedy.
It's a Thursday.
At the rate some Kings fans go, though, I'm certain they'd be like, see, Luka wouldn't have done that.
Good point.
That's totally accurate.
Rookie can't even have his right shorts on. Ugh.
Lucas shorts are always on.
Luke,
He's ready to
He
go.
sleeps in his game shorts.
Yes.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that. He doesn't like to get ready. He stays ready.
Exactly.
We'll get back to the Sacramento Kings coming up in just a few minutes. Really not a lot to take away from last night's 114-95 loss other than the massive amount of points they gave up in the second quarter. Mate, we talked about the who just set the record? The Warriors and Pelicans, right? The
Yes.
3-point record?
Uh-huh.
You know the Thunder and Lakers almost broke it last night.
This one will not last long.
It's really not. Like, it might not last through the weekend.
Yeah, because the Kings and Warriors had it for about 2 weeks.
About?
Yeah.
And then the Warriors broke it again.
Right.
So let's just look at the Warriors' schedule coming up and figure out what 2 teams are going to break the 3-point record. Most made 3-pointers.
Yeah.
But I think it was 41 last night.
Do you legitimately think that record gets broken this year?
Yes.
Like in a Rockets-Warriors game or something?
Maybe not even that. Like, it almost fell in the Thunder-Lakers game last night.
In overtime.
Okay, fair enough.
But still.
Well, wait a minute. The Warriors, that was regulation.
Yeah.
It was 147 to 140 in regulation.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
I mean, the Warriors are obviously a prime candidate. You can have a day where Steph himself gets 12 or 13. I mean, I think Clay's record will drop, right? He just said it this year with 14.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You think that'll drop this year?
Yeah, I'm going to say it.
Okay.
I mean, Harden, the way Harden, how many times Harden is shooting now,
Oh, yeah.
it's going to take a hot night, but that's what it took for Clay.
The Rockets took 73s against the
Yeah.
Nets.
There were 106 3-point attempts in that game.
Yeah, and Harden took all 100 and whatever it was.
6. Yes. Harden
He
took
put
a-
on a Nets uniform and took some for them, too.
He would if he could.
James Harden, few people realize this. James Harden is actually Spencer Dinwiddie. Like he
Yes.
was like he was the guy. He actually just shot himself there in the final few minutes.
Original two-way player.
Yes.
Yeah.
He keeps both pairs of shorts
Yes,
on,
he does.
so he could just do multiple tearaways throughout the game. The Lakers, as we mentioned, we'll get back to the Kings around 7:15 or so. We'll get into the conference championship games at the top of the 7 o'clock hour. But the Lakers beat the Thunder last night. That was their 4th win in the last 6 games without LeBron James. Is it good for the Lakers to have this stretch without LeBron and learn to win games like they did against what's supposed to be a very good Oklahoma City Thunder team?
I mean, I think there's probably some logic in that, but I'm going to say no because if they're doing anything, the whole thing is built around LeBron. So I don't know that it matters. It matters only in the sense of the standings, keeping them in the race. But when it's winning time and LeBron is back, his fingerprints are all over that team. He runs the team. There's no question who does that. And so they're just having to figure out a different way to compete without him. But I don't know that it's really helping their – I mean, LeBron's in the picture for 4 years. That's not changing. So I don't know that it matters.
Yeah, but if you're looking at this Lakers core, if they're together for the next decade, you want them to learn how to win without LeBron, at least a little bit, right? You don't want him completely stunting their growth and LeBron leaves in 4 years and now you're left with nothing because Brandon Ingram never developed and Lonzo Ball is a bench player. I think this is in the long run good for them that they're learning how to win.
That's along the lines of what I was
Really?
thinking.
But I would almost guarantee, I'm going to say 99%, that core is not together through the 4 years of LeBron. If the core is Kuzma, Ball, and Ingram, it's none of the rest, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. That's just the way the NBA is.
I think it's just one. I think it's one of those guys that's not there.
Okay, well,
I don't think
so then we're talking about 2 players?
Yeah, with LeBron.
Yeah,
Okay.
2 players who are going to be, hopefully for them, the stars of their team.
Right.
Hopefully.
Well, I think 2 of those 3 players are. I actually thought 3 of them were, but I'm losing faith in Lonzo Ball by the day. Faith is the wrong word.
Yeah.
I'm starting
The
to not.
ceiling is lowering.
I'm starting to not believe it anymore.
Yeah. But, I mean, don't we all...
And I don't think he fits the way LeBron plays. Sorry.
Don't we all believe that whether or not they can get him, whether it's Durant, whether it's... They're going for someone big. I think it's going to cost not necessarily one of them now, but I just don't see how that group is around. That's the way the NBA is. I mean, honestly, it changes so fast.
So we're having, fun with the over-under. There's 3 players. The over-under 1.5.
Is on the team in 2024.
Oh, that's too far.
See?
Well,
then what
20. Well, because it's. Is LeBron on the team in 20? How about
LeBron's there in 2023.
How about 2020?
That's just
next year.
Over
under 1.5.
Over 1.5.
I'll take over.
2021.
Under.
I guess I don't see the downside of winning without LeBron James. Like, they have to stay in the playoff race in the West.
That's it. Besides standings, though. That's what I meant.
There is no downside, obviously,
Right.
to a team winning a basketball game. But what I was talking about was, because I had said to Sam Amick when he joined us on the regularly scheduled Lowdown earlier this week, do you think LeBron just comes in and everything clicks and is working fine? And he said yes, and I thought no, because they're going to be relying too much on LeBron James. But now that they've won 4 of their last 6, maybe those guys have a little bit of confidence heading into, okay, LeBron's back, good. We'll be even better, as opposed to, oh, good, LeBron's back. Dig us out of this hole that we've dug ourselves in since Christmas Day.
Right.
Or the day after Christmas when you started missing games.
Yeah. Not by choice.
Still no idea when LeBron James is going to return, but I did a little bit of perusing of the upcoming schedule. Obviously, the Warriors and the Lakers play on MLK Day. I don't think he's officially been ruled out. I don't think LeBron's going to play in that game. However, Warriors, Lakers, Oakland, California, Saturday night, prime time, February 2nd. So
That's
That day before the Super Bowl.
yeah,
the day.
I'm just saying, he'll be back by then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He will be back by then. We'll switch gears a little bit. Hour number 2 of the drive's about to kick off. We'll take a look. Our first look at the conference championship games coming up this weekend.